Hey guys, welcome to a new video. I had a different video completely scheduled for today, but it seems like this is kind of an emergency episode because people, not just one or two people, but many people are experiencing extreme de-ranking from Google, getting de-indexed from Google completely for a lot of their articles because they're using AI ChatGPT to create their articles. I want to go ahead and be clear that it's not because they're using AI. That's not the reason at all. And this is actually, if you guys have been consistently watching my channel, you could probably piece together why these people are getting de-indexed from Google. The first thing is that they're releasing way too much content at once. In fact, it's not practical. And really what I mean by that is Google understands your long-term capability based on your behaviors. Meaning, if you take a blog and you're uploading 50 articles a day, Google expects that long-term. It does not expect 50 articles every single day for a week, and then for a whole nother month, not a single article posted, and then for another 50 days, another 50 articles, and then for another 4 days, 0 articles posted or 1 article posted. It doesn't expect that. That looks extremely robotic. Google's only goal, is to provide quality content to their readers. You have to remember that. And if you're creating countless amounts of articles as one creator, Google's going to look at that and say, well, how valuable can these articles truly be? And they can actually pin them up against competitors and show that they're not. Because an article solely written by AI currently is not perfected to where it currently needs to be. There's a lot of things that needs to be added. Formatting, images, headlines, text, a little first-person text in there, right? Affiliate links. There's all different things that compose a good article, especially depending on the niche. So yes, if you're creating a lot of content, a lot of articles, sure, your impressions are going to shoot up to the moon, but impressions mean nothing. And I've spoken about this before, and there's other creators out here telling you to use different tools and different things that are going to post 40 articles a day or 10 articles a day, and that doesn't mean anything because you're not going to be able to walk away with any kind of success with that. What Google is looking for is they're looking for specific authority sites on certain topics that are slowly being improved on a consistent basis. When they're improved enough and they have an amalgamation of content that is enough to be deemed worthy, then the article holds more, then the website holds more authority based on the article basis. And when articles are created, they have then a faster chance of then ranking on Google. This idea that you can connect GPT and create hundreds of articles is fine. But are you really going to get traffic? The answer is no. And Google understands spam markers very, very, very well. They don't have to understand if you're a human or a machine to figure out what you're doing. It looks spammy. It does not look good. Not only by creating a lot of content, but not giving attention to each piece of content. Google can see how many times a page was updated, how many times articles have been released that specific day. There's a lot of these different indications that Google speaks about in their documentation. Now you could go ahead and read it. It's about 640 pages long, or you can go ahead and listen to this channel. And you can go ahead and also compare this channel to others of what they're telling you. And you have to be realistic with your results. This is once again another important thing. A lot of people are going to start blogging in the future because they're listening to the wrong people, and they're going to think it's a get-rich-quick thing, and they're going to quit just like everything else because they're doing it wrong. And the one thing that you're going to remember and walk away with is that Google is an extremely, extremely intelligent algorithm. It has an extremely intelligent algorithm, and you're not going to do well. I don't want to point out names. I don't want to say names. I don't want to show other channels that are not telling you the right information. I don't want to do that. But there are channels that are literally lying to you. And some channels might be good enough to come back and say, you know what, we were wrong. We discovered that this was wrong, etc. But they're not. Most are not going to do that. And even if they do, they still steer you in the wrong direction. And unfortunately, Google has an infinite database that you can't even fathom. If you create an article and then you find that it was delisted, deranked, and you think that hiding the article for a little period of time, sending it back in your draft, and then slowly publishing them out is going to work? The answer is no, it's not going to work. Not only are you harming the actual website and the ranking, but you're harming that business, right? And once again, I'm not going to mention names of people who are doing this, but once again, these are the same people who read about SEO from a book, or maybe go work for somebody that has a website that's already been developed, and they bring them on just to sit there and write, but they're not actually producing valuable content to that website. And remember, if there's one rule that you can take away when it comes down to SEO, SEO is nothing more than improving or optimizing, put it that way, optimizing a website for the needs of the algorithm. In the case of Google, it's actually relatively simple. Even though it's very, very complex, we can simplify it. And we can say that good content reigns supreme. Consistent good content. Not just one article or two articles or three, but consistent good articles over time. Not a plethora, but consistent. There's a very significant difference there, guys. If you were to post one article every 2 weeks, that comes out to about 27 articles for the year. If you were to post 27 articles for the year, that's much more beneficial than if you were to post 40 articles in 3 days and think that you're doing something. Because what's going to happen is you're going to get deranked, you're going to get de-indexed, Google's going to look at you more of like a spam website, and unfortunately, the people who have to carry that weight are the people who run that business. And if people hire you as an SEO, well, then I mean, they're just going to have to carry that weight on their shoulders. So if you're listening to this and you're listening to other creators who are giving you bad advice like this, you have to think logically. If it sounds too good to be true, right? Too good to be true, then you have to assess it. This is why I spoke about Agent GPT, which I don't know where it was here, or even Koala. Not Agent GPT, excuse me, Koala. Koala SH is nothing more than a software that's being prompted. But then they tried to market it as this tool that's like an agent, and it can write articles for you and this and that. But you have to do the actual research. You have to find the right keywords. You have to do all these kind of things. So, guys, please, use your minds. Use your brain. Stop getting caught into these get-rich-quick things, right? The reality is building a blog, building a niche site, takes effort. And it's a shame that I even have to say this, but it's like some people get confused. They say, how can I make money now? You can't make money now. You have to be able to work on the blog and develop it and wait till Google picks it up. You can't control these kind of things. The only thing you can control is what content is on that website. And as far as the content, you have pure control over that. And you can do an absolutely phenomenal job doing that. But yeah, at the end of the day, you're being lied to. All right, straight up. You're being lied to because you're not familiar with the rules of how Google plays. And once again, there's a lot of self-proclaimed experts that know what they're talking about. But you know what I call somebody an expert? A person who's done it and lives off of that income. That's what I call an expert. If you're listening to somebody who maybe got hired by a company to do SEO, right? At the end of the day, if they were that good, they would have done it for themselves. That's the reality. That's what it comes down to, right? And you got to look at yourself in the mirror and you got to ask yourself, is the advice that I'm hearing BS? Does it make sense? I have a different YouTube channel. I know some of you know about it, where I talk about print on demand. And some people get frustrated by the advice that I say. And I always say things like, you have to try, you have to test, you have to work, you have to upload, you have to do a lot of different things. And some people get frustrated and they say, well, how do you know you're not lying or whatever? Well, I could say you could either look at the sales charts and all that. And they say, well, you can fake the sales charts. You can fake all those things. And I say, okay, point blank period. Just listen to my information. Do I sound logical, or do I sound like I'm scamming you or I'm lying to you? If I sound logical, right, let you be the discernment. Use your discernment. Use your brain to think if this person is sounding crazy or is this person is sounding logical. If you think logically that you have a website where you used to post an article a week and then all of a sudden you're going to post 50 articles in a period of 2-3 days and expect that you're going to shoot up in the Google rankings, everything's going to be hunky-dory, and you're going to roll off into the sunset and make millions of dollars, you're fooling yourself. That's not intelligent. That's called get rich quick. You're trying to skip the line. And remember, when you try to skip the line, you try to go for a shortcut, you're going to get hurt. Your business is going to get hurt. Everything's going to get hurt in between. I've spoken about this before. You could literally watch 2-3 other videos of mine. I've mentioned this. You get 1% better every single day when it comes down to blogging. There's no magic tricks here. There's no, I worked all day, or I worked for a year and Google didn't give me any traffic. There is none of that. That doesn't exist here, right? That doesn't exist in the world of SEO. So if you're listening to this, right, there's not one person here that can't be successful. Every single person here can make money doing SEO. But it takes logic. It takes a stable mind, right? Not these people that trying to get rich quick and do some crazy stuff and trying to capture you in with some fake ideas about SEO and shooting up and ranking an article in 3 days. This is asinine. This is insane. I've spoken about this before, but unless you're a large website with extreme authority, we're talking about like a bodybuilding.com or a Quora or Yahoo News. So really large websites, Elite Daily, we're talking about monstrously sized websites. Yeah, then maybe you can rank and get traffic within 2-3 days, even the same day or even a few hours for an article. But the reality is most people, 99.99999% for eternity listening to this video are not those people. Most people are regular people who have a website that they're curating themselves the content, they're creating themselves gradually, and they're trying to improve it gradually. You're not going to be successful doing some crazy stuff. I've spoken about this before. Don't try to win overnight. Everybody overestimates what they can do in a year, and they overestimates what they can do in a day, and underestimates what you could do in a year. You could get so far working for 1 year, taking it slow and steady, building that blog up consistently, right? And once again, I don't want to say who these YouTubers are. I don't want to create problems for these people. And my channel is small. Who cares, right? It doesn't create problems. But the reality is I'm not going to call anybody else out. I don't play those kind of games. But you have to use your own mind. You have to be logical. I mean, the idea that you could just do some crazy, it's insane. It's insane. People are falling for it left and right. And a lot of YouTubers like these are not going to clean up their own mess, and they don't show their own results. I'm very abundantly, I believe in this wholeheartedly, that if you are not doing it for yourself, meaning you're not making the money yourself, if you're working for somebody as an SEO, quote unquote, you're probably not good at doing it yourself. Because if that was the case, you wouldn't have a boss. You would just do it for yourself. That's my opinion. Do I think I'm wrong? I don't think so, honestly. Usually I could say I can openly admit if I'm wrong about something. In this situation, I highly doubt it. If you work for somebody as an SEO, what is stopping you from doing it yourself? These are the people that are coming out here and giving you false advice. They don't actually own money-making websites themselves. They don't own money-making businesses themselves. They just go and work for somebody else and claim that they're an expert. And they try different things, and then they fail, and then they screw up the owner's website at the end of the day. Once again, I'm not going to mention who these channels are, but it is what it is. It's just the reality of the game. There's a lot of frauds out here, and people will call you a fraud for selling a course or giving information away, right? Paid information. That's when they'll call you a fraud, but that's just because they're pocket watching. They're not actually experts, and they get frustrated that somebody else is making money from it. But if you have the results, then why? Why are you getting frustrated? So it is what it is. At the end of the day, there's only two groups in the world, the winners and the losers. And unfortunately, the losers are the ones who are going to be looking for the get rich quick. They're going to stumble and they're going to fall. And then there's also another group of losers who just don't even try, which most people listening to this are not going to have any kind of assimilation with those people, because at least you're trying, at least you're listening, at least you're working. Point is that if there's anything that you can take away from this video, if you're going to create a blog, don't fall for the get rich quick schemes. And keep working on your blog consistently and get 1% better each and every day. I can't tell you how many times I would look up and I would ask myself when I first started my very first business, which relied on SEO in the beginning, I would sit there and ask myself, why me? Why does it seem like everybody else is succeeding and shooting to the moon, but I'm the only one who's left behind? I'm not doing well. It's because the reality is those people weren't actually successful. It was all marketing. It was all words. It was all a facade. That's what it was. I've spoken about this story before, but it took me 6 months to get my very first sale online, period. And it was a t-shirt. It was actually a hoodie that I had sold through a blog that I had created. SEO. That's SEO. That's search engine optimization. Now, it took me 6 months to get that. Can you imagine working 15 hours a day, whether it's be college, going to your work, working on your business, 15 hours a day, 16 hours a day, right? Every single day for 6 months straight and no results, zero, not even a penny paid. Most people can't. Most people won't. The point is that I was a beginner. I didn't know what I was doing. I don't have the information I have now. Now I could do that within 2 months. But back then, didn't have that opportunity. And those 2 months that I could do it now is not even 16 hours worth of work. Might be 2 hours worth of work because I know exactly what I'm doing, right? The point here is that, guys, please take things seriously with your business, right? If it sounds too good to be true, it's probably too good to be true. If it sounds insanely amazing and it's the best ever, it's probably fake. I remember I had somebody who I knew who was starting their first business, and he was so convinced that there were these get-rich-quick schemes and you know, these people that get to the top. And one day he told me, no, he had an e-commerce store, and he said, no, you don't get it. There's this software out there that can, or this program that can get you to the top of Google immediately, and you'll get a ton of traffic and make a lot of money, but it costs $90. And I said, ask yourself logically, if there was something really out there that costed, that would get you immediately at the top of Google and make you millions of dollars, would it only cost $90? Ask yourself that question logically. And that's the same thing. If somebody says to you, oh, I ranked on Google in 2 days or 3 days, really, ask yourself logically, do you think that that's a long-term standing kind of idea that's actually going to work? Probably not. Whatever. At the end of the day, time will tell. And the winners are going to win and the losers are going to lose. I'll talk to you guys later. Thank you guys for watching, and peace out. Bye.